In this episode of Latitudes, we explore some extraordinary destinations around the globe. Adventurous explorers withstand the freezing cold and polar bears to raise a flag on the North Pole. We enjoy a hot natural spa in the Icelandic wilderness. Then we take a closer look at Scotland's Millennium Landmarks and their spectacular science and nature shows. If you're looking for an unusual and memorable tourist destination, try Chernobyl, the site of the world's worst nuclear accident. Or the Fish Hotel, a hotel built especially for the comfort of Japanese carp fish. The North Pole is one of the last frontiers for tourists looking for an extraordinary destination. A group of 20 people went to the frozen wastes of the Arctic Circle on the first ever organised tour. On arrival, this polar bear character greeted the tourists. Russia is now offering those with an extreme sense of adventure trips to the Arctic Circle. Accommodation consists of the polar camp, and transportation is by sled, of course. The sleds are bringing hay for the huskies to sleep on. The tourists are summoned inside the camp for special instructions on how to deal with a polar environment. Whilst drinking hot tea, the Russian polar expedition leader alerts them of the many dangers around them. They're warned not to go beyond the snow hut or anywhere else alone, as there could be dangerous cracks in the ice and polar bears out there. So can the North Pole really become a tourist destination? Russia's polar expedition officials have figured out that if the Russian Space Agency can do tourism in space, then why not do the same in the North Pole? This is a great location for taking photographs, but check your camera in these sub-zero temperatures. You can even enjoy an ice cream in the freezing Arctic. If you fancy a trip to the North Pole, you must book well in advance and be prepared to pay $8,000 to $11,000 US. The tours last 5 days and are only available in April. This is when temperatures climb to around minus 35 degrees Celsius, warm in comparison to average lows of minus 60 degrees Celsius. A short helicopter ride from the Russian polar station takes you to the North Pole. You can plant a flag in the snow at this geographically significant location. And then play some friendly badminton to all points of the compass. Arctic snow is an unusual polar souvenir. Russian polar expeditions have teamed up with so-called extreme tourism companies to run 5 trips a month, weather conditions permitting. The first group of polar tourists certainly enjoyed the experience. Here they take a spectacular ride in a hot air balloon. So if you can withstand sub-zero temperatures, constant daylight hours, basic accommodation, and are not afraid of polar bears, then maybe the North Pole is for you. Oh, and don't forget a large dose of an adventurous spirit. It'll certainly help. Japan's snow monkeys have known for ages the joys of a hot outdoor bath on a cold winter's day. But this pleasure is not exclusive to snow monkeys. Now, people from around the globe are discovering the same pleasure in Iceland. In the island's barren tundra lies an unlikely health and tourist destination. The Blue Lagoon, an outdoor spa created from the runoff of a geothermal power plant. However, a plunge in the lagoon is more than a pleasant excursion on a cold day. Its warm geothermal seawaters soothe arthritic pain and cure some common skin diseases. The Blue Lagoon is a state-of-the-art outdoor spa where visitors can enjoy a soak in its warm waters throughout the year, even when the temperature outdoors is below freezing. The warm waters in the lagoon average a comfortable 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 38 degrees Celsius. This unique ecosystem was created from the runoff water of the local geothermal power plant. When the water was dumped in the adjacent lava field, the mineral-rich water sealed the ground and created the basin, which is now known as the Blue Lagoon. The Blue Lagoon's warm water and natural active ingredients, salts, silica and blue-green algae help guests relax and escape the stress and strain of daily life. The white silica mud gently cleanses and exfoliates the skin, while the blue-green algae nourishes and softens the skin. The mineral salts have balancing and relaxing effects. This lagoon is no ordinary pool of runoff water. Its mineral content is known to cure ailments such as eczema and psoriasis. Today, the lagoon is visited by hundreds of thousands of people from across the globe. Most of the people who make their way to this oasis do not come for treatments, but rather to be treated. Enjoy the spectacular view, the skin-softening mud, a relaxing massage, or a soak while sipping champagne. A visit to the Blue Lagoon is an invigorating and exciting experience. So for your next natural spa holiday, visit the spectacular Blue Lagoon in Iceland. Perhaps you can visit on your way home from the North Pole adventure. Scotland's Millennium Landmark architectural projects illustrate some of the most exciting designs in modern British architecture and are popular tourist attractions. At more than 125 metres tall, the Glasgow Science Centre Tower is Scotland's tallest freestanding structure. It's also the world's first fully rotating tower. The tower's most striking feature is its sheer slenderness. The entire structure not only senses wind direction, but also automatically rotates to the correct direction to minimise the wind's impact. The Glasgow Science Centre celebrates Scotland's historic legacy of scientific achievement. It resurrects Scotland's proud spirit of innovation and creativity through the establishment of a scientifically aware and technologically capable society. From across the River Clyde, the area looks more like a sculpture park than a science park. The 12-acre site is surrounded on 3 sides with water. The Glasgow Science Centre's buildings are the first to be clad in titanium. Titanium is an expensive metal, which in this building is rolled very, very thin to provide a protective coating over the surface. It was seen as an appropriate material to use as an exhibit in itself for this type of building. The Science Mall is the nerve centre of the complex. It's packed with a wide range of hands-on exhibits that will intrigue, challenge, and even dumbfound you. But above all else, they will definitely entertain you. Spread over 4 floors, the Science Mall also contains a number of dedicated theatres, including a planetarium-style space theatre, which, with its 15-metre dome and starfield projector, displays astronomy films and light shows. One of the most popular attractions is a series of informative and entertaining live shows, which range from the electrifying to the explosive. They combine education and learning with fun and excitement. Shows run each day and cover topics from the worlds of science, technology, and nature. Other facilities include the Science Show Theatre, a multimedia theatre, virtual reality theatre, and IMAX Theatre, the first in Scotland. The IMAX Cinema is a 370-seat ultra-high-tech cinema. The futuristic complex will appeal to anyone interested in learning about technology and its applications in a fun and interesting environment. The Glasgow Science Centre is open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Another Scottish landmark and popular tourist attraction is Dynamic Earth. It's been developed as part of the regenerated Holyrood area in Edinburgh. The site interfaces with the landscape of the city's World Heritage Site in the Old Town. The Old Wall, which once formed the edge of the historic William Younger Brewery, is restored and extended to make an external wall of the 2-storey attraction space, the Black Box. The building has smooth, flowing curves and taut, minimal cables and masts offset by its natural, rugged surroundings. The fabric roof and its structure make a generous entrance pavilion. Although weather-tight, its form and glass walls give the feel of an outdoor space. A hemispherical dome to a multimedia theatre protrudes into the space, hinting at what's below. Her Majesty the Queen officially opened Dynamic Earth in 2001. Since then, Dynamic Earth has enjoyed millions of curious visitors of all ages. There is also a food chain cafe and the Natural Selection gift shop open to all visitors. Telling the story of planet Earth through 11 state-of-the-art Earthscapes, the building combines the very latest interpretive technology and special effects with cutting-edge scientific thinking. A journey around the planet Earth takes the visitor back through time to witness the Big Bang, experience earthquakes, ice ages, and tropical rainstorms. With interactive exhibits and hands-on experiences throughout, Dynamic Earth will be a huge hit with the kids. They'll be whisked back in time and feel the phenomenal force of nature in the restless Earth. Then touch an iceberg and experience a tropical rainforest. Just as the city of Edinburgh provides a stunning background for the project, Dynamic Earth itself provides the city with a much-needed science-based educational attraction. The other element that makes Dynamic Earth eye-catching is the monumental forecourt in the shape of an amphitheatre that can be used for outdoor performances. Like its neighbours, the Palace of Holyrood House and the new Scottish Parliament, which use architecture to suggest political evolution, so the Dynamic Earth project uses architecture to connect natural history to human and civic life. It's a must-visit in Edinburgh. If you're looking for an unusual and memorable tourist destination, try Chernobyl or the Japanese Fish Hotel. Nearly 2 decades after the world's worst civil nuclear accident in Chernobyl, the now closed nuclear power station and the ghost towns around it are being touted as a new tourist destination. On April 26, 1986, the Ukraine's Chernobyl nuclear power reactor exploded, spewing deadly clouds of radioactive dust over Russia, neighbouring Belarus and much of Europe. Thousands are still living out the tragedy. Many areas still have dangerously high levels of radiation. Stories of death, illness and poverty continue. But some tourist agencies in the Ukraine are capitalising from the world's worst nuclear disaster by offering tours around the contaminated area. All you need is Geiger counters, white masks and rubber boots, and you're set to go. The first tourist destination is the ghost town of Pripyat, that stands almost in the shadow of Chernobyl's Reactor 4. The explosion evacuated the town, now surrounded by barbed wire and watched by checkpoints. Many took what they could, but later others have come and trashed rooms in the search for something valuable. The toilets have been ripped out, the refrigerators stripped bare, tower blocks stand empty, apartment doors hang on hinges, mattresses with their empty springs showing sag in hallways, and the wind screams eerily through broken windows and bare lift shafts. But those who have fought their fears of radiation sickness and want to see the highly patrolled area all but deserted might find the staff less than welcoming. Agencies offer day trips to Chernobyl for $250 per couple, including lunch. You must be over 18. The Chernobyl area is equipped with a 13-room hotel. Soviet-style buses and a winding potholed road welcome the tourists. Many tourists hope photographs and first-hand stories will educate their children. There are those in tiny hamlets who would not mind seeing a few new faces banging at their doors. 78-year-old Anastasia Chikalovets, who was forced to leave her small peasant house in 1986, returned to the village a year later. Now, 26 people live in the village, once home to more than 1,000. She says life is better in the village. However, tourists have to stay on the bus at all times. They will still get the chance to see the deserted town of Pripyat, where thousands will never be allowed home. Lovers of Japanese carpfish known as koi are paying big bucks to rent space in special hotels in Singapore to ensure they're comfortable. Businessman Tony Lee goes to the koi hotel every other day to visit his fish. He spends $3,500 a month on food and rent for the 100 koi he owns. They are living the good life in totally pampered comfort at the Nippon Koi Hotel. Lee's own pond is not big enough to keep them all together. They need more room to swim and exercise. And he could not get rid of them, as they provide him with more satisfaction than going out at night. He is not alone in his preoccupation, and that's why this unique hotel was built. Many people love fish but can't house them because their homes are too small, or their relatives don't share their tastes. Some men rent space in the hotel for their koi to stop their wives from seeing how much they spend on the fish. Nippon Koi Hotel has about 100 customers. All of them are male. The hotel has about 200 ponds in 3 different sizes. The largest ponds are known as presidential suites. Each of them comes with a room or pond number, and koi lovers can keep a record of their pets' shapes and sizes. The hotel also provides hospital services for the sick koi that are suffering from skin disease. The most common sickness is ulcers caused by bad water. Koi lovers say fish even suffer from stress caused by travelling from one pond to another. The hotel also caters to people who want to board their koi for short stays when they go away on holidays, or in between moving house. Tourists are encouraged to visit the hotel and simply appreciate the beauty of the koi fish. Now that's a unique hotel visit for any tourist. Join Latitudes again when we next trek the globe and explore fabulous and exciting holiday destinations. For further information regarding any story on this episode, log on to www.pbtv.com.au. This program is proudly supported by PATA and Always Dive Australia.